Okay, my friends, welcome back to Project Breakthrough. We are now ready to rock on day number 5. Are you excited? Hope you had a good night's rest and you really went over your notes, did your homework, and got dialed in 100%. You know exactly who your client is, who you're marketing to, and what you're trying to say to them step by step and day by day. Because if you didn't, kind of roll back, stop it right here, run back to yesterday's training and get all the details. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll. We're here today, of course, with our good friends, Mark and Chris. Welcome back to day 5.
Hi, how are you?
I am perfect. You know what? If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Oh.
I would. I'd be here and I'd be there.
Wow.
You're in, aren't you?
All right, so day 5 is all about getting ready to build that landing page. That landing page is all important. I know you guys want to jump into it right now and say, hey, Jace, I want to build my page right now. I know. Slow down for one quick second. If we go start building that page this very second, one of the biggest fears is you're not going to be able to get to number 2. And number 2 of this whole program is making sure you can rinse and repeat it, understanding all the process step by step by step. And when you build a page, there's a lot of things, my friend, involved in building a page, like how it looks, how it's laid out, where a headline goes, where the call to action goes. So today, we're going to give you a nice, clean overview on the principles of design and what to expect as to where to put one item versus another on that page. Are you ready to rock and roll?
We're ready.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Get your notes out. Got a nice pen, good ink, ready to rock and roll. And of course, your notes on the right side of this training are there for you to get deep and engaged in. Let's get rolling. All right. A couple things you want to do. Number 1, I want you to make sure today you guys have a very clear understanding on how to build an effective landing page. If you don't, you're going to end up with a challenge which says, I'm not really sure why one landing page works and why another one does not. There's a big thing to think about, Mark and Chris. You guys got to realize that sometimes people build a page just throwing things up there and they hope it's going to work. And listen, in 20 years of doing this, I found one reality. Every page is not equal to the next. You're heading in one area versus a subheading in another area. These things make a difference for a lot of different reasons. And I'll give you some tools as we kind of get further along in these trainings to make sure you understand where eyeballs are looking and why someone's clicking here and why they're clicking there. So today, I want to make sure you understand exactly what that page should look like and how to lay it out. And number 2, I want you to understand principles of good design. Now, it's one thing to say we're going to build a landing page, but if you've never done this before, you may have absolutely no clue whatsoever as to, what the color should be or how it should be laid out or what makes someone do something or not. Just throwing a bunch of red or black or yellow on the page may not exactly get you a conversion. And my goal is to get you guys deep conversions from day number 1.
Okay.
Sound good? Let's rock. First things first, the anatomy of a good landing page, my friends. So we're going to start off step by step, item by item. Number 1, the most important thing on a landing page is your headline. Okay, this is going to jump out, pop off the page, scratch you on the back and say, hey, I've got to be your best friend. A good landing page literally jumps out across anything else with their headline first. I kind of like to apply something called a 1-second rule. Close your eyes, look at your landing page, open them up for 1 second, and then close your eyes again. Did you capture the essence of that page? Did it jump out clearly to you? Do you understand exactly what someone's saying to you in that 1 second? Because in that 1 second, if you did, I promise you one thing, my friend, that person will read through the rest of the landing page and make a contact with your call to action and engage it. So your landing page should be simple to understand. It should complement the imagery. Matter of fact, if your landing page is clear, concise, unambiguous, relevant, and compelling, you've made a statement. Now, some people like to say a headline should be super long, like 4 sentences long. Think about it. How much do you spend time in 1 second? How much can you really read? And what are you emphasizing? So sometimes if you'll say your landing page says, learn how to make money in 14 days flat, well, if you emphasize the words 14 days flat, or do you emphasize the words learn how to earn money or earn money in 14 days? So you're thinking about your call to action in your headline. You want to mimic that throughout the actual page. You don't want to emphasize 14 days because who cares about 14 days? You want to emphasize earning money or finding a breakthrough or something of that nature. So your headline and your call to action, they kind of work together. Okay. Number 2, you want to identify a very clear position in your subheadlines. Remember in the copy yesterday, we went back and forth on what it was that was your subheadline, the subpoints that made somebody agree to your headline. They have to complement each other. Those subheadlines can be the second thing you're going to say. If you can get them captured in 1 second, my friend, well, beyond that, you'll get them to appreciate that headline and resonate with that headline through your sub-headline. So your secondary headline is the second place a user looks. The headline should compel a user to re-investigate and re-look at the content or the video or the details on that page. It's to address a very specific point that's relevant to the content of the site and, of course, catch the reader's attention. This is kind of like your qualifying section. You can see in the graphic I put online, it kind of comes right underneath it. Now, every landing page does not have to look like this, but every single landing page still follows the same structure. When we build a page for you guys today or tomorrow, we're going to actually say, okay, here's your headline, here's your secondary headline, your clear position, and of course, here's other points like maybe your call to action or maybe a video or maybe there's some content, and we're going to go through that step by step by step. But the bottom line is, however it's structured, you're still making a position between the first point and the second. The first captures your attention. The second makes sure that you realize that the reason you captured your attention is because of the second point. It's reiterating the point. It's giving you a secondary position that says, yes, this was a good decision to read on. Okay, number 3, use correct grammar. Don't say, yo, it's cool, you should definitely opt into my page. Or you should say, I think, maybe, I think. No. You're making a position. You're also establishing credibility. And listen, above all else, my friend, use correct spelling. If you don't know how to spell the word, use this thing called Google. And it's a really cool website. I know we've never seen it, but it will tell you how to spell things. I can't tell you how many landing pages I've seen where I've got blatant spelling errors right on the front of it, and it goes off to like thousands of people, and people laugh. And they go away. They're not going to opt in. So use correct grammar, use correct spelling in your landing page. It may seem almost minute, but it does make a difference. Number 4, trust symbols. Now listen, when we get into your actual landing page today, trust symbols can go either way. Some areas, trust symbols work really well. And in some aspects, you're not going to be able to say, I have a Better Business Bureau logo or some kind of other program. Customer testimonials work in that regard. A video also works in that regard, establishing trust. The one thing I want to emphasize here is trust. And this is a very important thing to realize. If someone trusts you, they'll give you their information. If they don't trust you, they're not going to. So there's a lot of ways to establish that. 1 is a video. 2 is a logo or some industry basic standard that says, yes, I am a member of this association or that association. All these things work. But make it a position in terms of, A, things that are statements, which also establish trust engagements, like, we have established 41% increase because of this. We've made at least this much money. This is my opt-in ratio. All these things of claims also can establish trust. A video can establish trust, as well as logos and things of that nature. But the bottom line is this: you've got a millisecond and a split second to establish trust for a user. So you want to make sure, no matter what you do, that there's something on this page which is credible, that someone can attach themselves to and says, yes, I agree with it. Create a strong call to action, a CTA. Know what to do next. A landing page has one focus, and that focus is to get someone to do something. Your job, my friend, is to get somebody to come to a page and then do something. You got to know exactly what it is you want them to do, and you establish that in your landing page. So I like to say, I'm going to walk them through a process. You start here, then you go there. Arrows can point this in that direction. Statements can point this in that direction. Your call to action should be clear. It should say something like, discover this, try this, learn how to do this, engage this, start doing this. It must be an action step. One thing I think about all the time is a workout video. Think about this. If you're going to watch a workout video, is a guy going to get up there in the workout video and says, maybe you might want to move your arm like this? Go ahead and do it. If you do this a lot, you're going to be really strong. No, he's going to say, all right, pick up that weight and lift it up and reach to the skies and reach for the skies. So this process is always about a call to action. You're engaging, you're doing something, you're getting stronger, you're getting stronger. So the idea of a landing page should think of the process of getting stronger, getting more concise, making a point. The headline brings you in, captures your attention. The subheadline makes you feel good about that main headline. The call to action gets you to go over the edge. It's kind of like a wheelbarrow on Niagara Falls. We're pushing you over that edge, and this whole landing page has to get you to go over the edge in a barrel in a waterfall. You feel that one? You're dying to get in the barrel in the waterfall, aren't you?
Yeah.
Awesome, great, okay. So your buttons, your call to action needs to stand out. It doesn't need to be a big red item, but it's got to stand out on the page to get someone to do something. Here's a big key. Make sure that call to action doesn't overpower the headline and vice versa, because it'll take away from the user's ability to engage. A call to action needs to be above the fold. Now, remember earlier in one of our trainings about what above the fold was? It's before a user has to scroll on the page. Well, above the fold position, it says, okay, before you scroll, this button is here. But if you had to scroll, a button is there as well. So your call to action is always accessible no matter where you are on that page. Orange or yellow, I like it a lot. It engages somebody. They can engage that process and say, yes, I want to do this across the board. Use words like free, new, buy, download now, etc. All these make a lot of sense in a good call to action button. Okay, minimize the links. Now, number 7 is a good one. Links should be an afterthought. If you decide to put extra links on the top of the page or the bottom of the page, realize these can also be points of distraction. A user can come to your page, see your headline, see your call to action. What's going to happen? They're going to go someplace else, Mark. They're going to go off to your privacy policy or check out this policy or read some other section. You don't want them feeling good. And a lot of you will make a big mistake with landing pages. This is a big faux pas. And listen to me very clearly when I tell you this one. You don't need to make your point so engaged that they must go someplace else to get your position, to get your point. A lot of people like to link them to a how it works section or to some other area on your website. Or to some area in the page which tells them something totally different, hoping they're going to read through content and feel better. No, a landing page is not about a lot of content. A landing page is about a lot of a position, meaning your position is this. Do this because of that, and engage it because of this. It's a very concise, clear position. It's not a home page for a website. It's totally separate. A landing page is a mini page. Meaning you come here, you do this, and you get off and you go. Right. Very simple, very clear. Number 8, use images and video that relate to the ad content and the copy. Now, if you're going to say to somebody that is of your avatar, remember they're 35 to 50 years of age, they're making $45,000 a year, and their goal is to replace their current income. That's their person. Now, if your call to action, if your headline says to somebody, listen, learn how to make money in 14 days flat. What's an image that if you're going to this person 35 to 40 years of age or 50 years of age and your headline is learn how to make money in 14 days flat, Mark or Chris, what's a good image that might relate to that person that you can think of that you'll add to this page? Any thoughts?
Maybe the gentleman sitting at home working on his computer.
Excellent idea. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe like on the sofa with the laptop.
Good.
Stack of cash sitting next to him.
Stack of cash is good. Exactly. Well, that's good. We know what that imagery conveys is that I'm that guy and I can do this too, right? And that makes you feel comfortable and good. You know, you don't want to use an image something like, an old guy sitting at Walmart with a smock on. Right? Because this is kind of like putting him in his life where he is right now. And the last thing you want to do is say, this is you where you are today. When the whole idea of the imagery needs to say, here's where you could be. This is the life you could have. So the imagery in the video needs to be forward thinking, bringing them to a point of destiny. Every landing page should encourage someone to get to a point of destiny. This is where you could be. So that video, that image should bring you in and help you illustrate that one. Imagine this. There's a good rule I like to put in motion. What would the image or the video be if you had no headline, no call to action, no ad content, and no copy? What would you do? What would the image illustrate? And you start there. So you forget everything else and say, I look at this picture or this video and it makes sense to me. And then you start there, then you build upon with that prospect. You'll always be on point. Custom videos are awesome in every single way, and they illustrate a very clear point. And that's one thing we're going to do for you here, is we're going to help you guys get to that point. You want to know how to shoot a video. It's a big, scary point sometimes. We're going to walk you through that. Because if you could sit here right now and listen to my voice and look at me and feel comforted and feel as if you're learning something and say, I got this down, what if you could do that? What if you could be on the other end of that spectrum? Well, that's something that's another part of this process of getting you to that point where you can illustrate real value to that user and get them to engage no matter what. Beyond that one, we're going to go down that road. We're going to get you in front of that camera. We'll walk you through that one. No worries to fear it. Just embrace it because you're going to get there. Remember, just follow the bouncing ball to get to that breakthrough. Now, there's all kind of things for video creation. You could use things like Fiverr and rawshorts.com, and you can use a professional voiceover artist. You can do all kind of things to create a really cool video. And these are great ways to do it. Or, of course, just get in front of that particular camera. That makes a lot of sense as well. Either way, we're going to make sure a landing page converts to a capacity that you kind of sit back and let the thing work for you. Let's keep going. Keep it all above the fold. The space where the visitor sees anything before having to scroll. Now, you can see my little illustration. Number 9, it's exactly where a user would come to. So all these points, a headline, a subheadline, an image, a video, some kind of a trust position, maybe it's a testimonial, maybe it's a video, maybe it's a logo. All these things are kind of above the fold with the call to action. And it works on a mobile device or on a desktop device. And you'll know the difference between the two when we get into some of these secret spy softwares we talked about the other day. That's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Number 10, test everything. Listen, we're going to build a landing page, and then we're going to build another landing page, and your job is going to build more landing pages. The more you build, the more you create, the more you test. And when we start testing things, we're going to begin doing some A/B testing. And A/B testing says this, my friend. It says, we're going to build a page, make it look like this, and then we're going to change one thing, like a headline. And that one thing that we change, that literally can tell us between page A and page B, will it work or will it not work? And these are things we're going to get into step by step by step, because once you find out the right formula, the right thing, my friend, that makes sense in every single way, I promise you one reality. Your conversions will go up. When your conversions go up, your cash goes up. And that's a good day.
We like that.
We like that. It's a good thing. All right, let's keep going. Now, principles of good design. Now, this is something that is always can be considered in the eye of the beholder, my friends. But I can tell you one thing, an ugly website design will get you an ugly result. A pretty or a cool or a very well thought out and well displayed website design will get you a very good result. Let's keep going. Number 1, capture the eye. Your layout, your design, your imagery that you use, once again, that video needs to capture the eye. They say a picture says 1,000 words and a headline says 999. So if you can put them together, you got almost 2,000 words right there in one statement, okay? So here in our illustrations, we're looking at 2 different designs. Those imagery jumps out at you. It makes a statement. It's clear. It's concise. Once again, if I did not have a headline, but I just had an image, I made an illustration. I made a point. Remember this, people do not read. They hate to read. So your imagery that you're capturing the eye with, the colors you're capturing the eye with, have to illustrate what you want to illustrate. Okay? Number 2, use something called encapsulation. I love the idea of taking my call to action or my section on the site and encapsulating it in some way. That's kind of framing it. I drive my attention to the actual area I want a user to engage. And here you can see in illustration A and B On the left-hand side, I've got my headline, I got my bullet points, I got my imagery, and I have maybe an opt-in or an email address, and I have a call to action right there in the front. But on the right-hand side, all I did was frame it. I engaged it, and I said, listen, this is where I'm going. Now, your eyeball will automatically look to the right, and those dynamic shapes always draw attention, and that makes a good aspect for making someone go someplace. It's always a process. Now, you can think as well, my eyes are going from left to right. So how do you read a book? From left to right. Well, when you're looking at a landing page, start from left to right and from up to down. We're not going from down to up. We're scrolling up to down and left to right. So your eyeballs are doing this. So the more natural you are through your movement in your eyes, the more easier it is you're going to get someone to move from one position to another on your page. Next, color and contrast. Makes a big difference on color and contrast. Here you can see I got two designs, all right? On the one design, I'm using blues and blacks, a little bit of white here and there, but I'm popping it out with the color green. That green pops out that says, build your app and engage it. It's soothing, it's easy on the eyes, but at the exact same time, it brings attention to the bottom. So my imagery catches my attention. My headline is almost an afterthought. So here in this design, the color and contrast has made up all the difference. I got a strong image. Look at the fonts as well. The fonts aren't all crazy. A lot of people, when they start using SiteSuite and they start using designs and creating this process, which we're going to do tomorrow, begin saying, oh, I'll use a headline here that will have one font, and I'll change it again, and I'll put an underline on it, and I'll make it bold, and I'll make it yellow, and I'll make it red, because it seems like it's cool. But what happens is your eye gets disjointed. We can only pick up so many shapes and so many colors in our eye. So we want to make sure we're using shapes and colors and emphasizing positions that are clear and easy to understand, that are not jumbled together. The imagery, the headline, the positions, and the colors, color and contrast is clear. The button color is not as important as the significance on where that button's located. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see my subpoints are beneath the call to action. My imagery is clear. My headline is clear, but my point is image, fill in the form, button, and if I didn't feel good about it, I can go below the button and engage. Now, use the same idea and the same concept. I took my same thought when I had encapsulation, and I used color contrast versus non-color contrast. So on the left-hand side, I've encapsulated it. I've got a nice little border around it. It brings attention, and I use a little gray shade, but a little hint of color that literally brings your attention even more. So my eye automatically goes where? Top to bottom, left to right. I'm moving a person to my call to action. Everything is fluid. Landing pages are not static. They're moving all the time. And it's funny. Many people don't realize this, my friend, and let me be crystal clear. You don't realize a lot of time, most people don't, that the movement of the eye, the movement of what you're doing, where you're going, that's the movement that we're trying to engage in our landing page. It's not that the page is moving, that the video is doing this or anything else. It's a static page. It doesn't move. But you're going to look here and look here and look there. And when we get into other tools we're going to use, you'll see how the eye moves. You'll see where they go, because all people do is they use their mouse and they'll go on the page or their finger and they'll look around the page where their eye is going. And you'll be able to see that through tools we're going to introduce to you in this process. So I want your design to be very crystal clear. I want you to be able to understand that the movement of an eye to a call to action is 100% the most important thing you can think about, because that's going to make this page work or not work. Digital cues, directional cues. Here's arrows. Now it sounds almost simple to use an arrow. Here it says, keep your store open when your network stops working. And it says, go here. Big giant arrow kind of in your face, right? Arrows work all day long to making someone do something. And it's almost kind of elementary, isn't it? You kind of never think about the idea of an arrow drawing attention to somebody because here's your call to action. It's kind of like almost like saying, you're dumb, you don't know what you're doing, go click here. Well, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make it super, super clear so your call to action is something someone engages step by step, moment by moment, and they say, click here and do this. Because that's the whole point of a landing page. And the same point, you can make your design engage the arrow process. Here, once again, I'm moving from left to right. I'm using color and contrast. I got my yellows are my emphasis, and blue is not. Blue, which is a very dark color, very strong color, very bold color, very engaging color, very credible color. I'm not using that blue as my call to action. I'm using yellow, which is a complete contrast from a landing page design standpoint. Take the same illustration a moment ago where we had that encapsulation, and now we've got it with color and contrast. Now we're using arrows. And arrows, once again, guide the point of interaction by following a path. A landing page is designed to help a user follow a path from one place to another. And the page we want to build for you guys, keep in your mind, you're bringing them down a path. And if we don't, we will lose them. You're paying money to get someone to a landing page. You gotta make sure we convert them. White space. Now, white space is not necessarily a white space. It's actually free space in the design. So that means that you don't want to crowd everything together so that no one can figure out what is actually happening. So here we've got large imagery, call to action, and a headline. And that's really it. It's very, very simple. A little red section saying no credit card required, that also illustrates her point. It removes the clutter. So your white space, your section should remove the clutter. Nothing exposes the area. Less is actually more, and it works in this capacity. Remember the iPhone, when they launch out, Apple does a great job of this. So look at the iPhone 5 ad. All they had was a big image, a headline, a subheadline, and that's it. Down below, big imagery, and you're done. So these things also make a good point for a good, effective design. Not clutter, not a lot of information. White space works well. Urgency and scarcity. Oh my gosh, the discount's going to go away. You've got to opt in today. If you don't do it now, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. This makes a big position as well. Getting them to engage it right now. They got to feel they've got to do it today. So when you combine these elements together, look at the exact same thing. Listen, this is a Chick-fil-A ad. You've got large imagery, call to action, social engagement, nice little red dot. It's all together. The last chance, only a few left. These things work as well. Try before you buy. Well, these things are also good to look at. So you want to look at your idea and say, you know what? So for the next 14 days, if you only give me 14 days, can I change your life? What would happen after 14 days if everything I'm telling you happens and you believe it? So your headlines are all following the exact same path as is your landing page. A quick preview gets you engaged in the process. And social proof. Frankly, building a site out that engages somebody socially, the tribe that we follow, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of these things work. These are all kind of bringing people together to feel that someone else is doing it. And that video gives you the same idea that says, if you can do it, I can do it too. And that gives you a sense of comfort. And are you trustworthy? That trust is in a symbol, it's in testimonials, it's in third-party reviews, it's in your video, it's in imagery, it's in absolutely everything you can think of. Your landing page should make you feel good and make you feel trusted. So across the board, think about this. Your landing page is the doorway to the rest of your life. If it doesn't give you the principles, it doesn't give you the tools, it doesn't make somebody want to do something, it will be the single most important barrier to decide whether you're going to make money or whether you're going to lose money. A landing page is it, my friend. If you don't get opt-ins, if you don't make money, if you don't get where you need to go, it's because of the pre-framed message, because of where you're sending them to, but it's also heavily focused on the landing page itself. And that's a ticket. I want you to realize how important a landing page is, because when we go into this process tomorrow morning, you're going to find the world change. So when you start laying out your own page, you're going to do this step by step. You'll do this step by step. When you think in your mind, I like this color. I don't like this color. A directional cue makes sense. My headline complements my subheadline. The imagery I'm using complements the headline I'm choosing. My call to action is engaging. I feel as if I came to this page, I feel credibility, I feel trust, and I feel like I'm going to walk down that road. Now, this is a simple, quick, all-in-one crash course on landing pages. I don't want to overwhelm you and give you too much detail. This is everything you need right now at this time to get started building your actual page. And we're going to begin using the code to build your actual page tomorrow. Now, if you want to become a specialist, You want to get really, really deep. You want to know everything about landing pages, what works and what doesn't work. And you want a formula that says, all right, Jason, I like the idea. I see it. I resonate with the thought that my landing page is important. Give me a formula. Give me some indication, no matter what happens, that before I start driving traffic to my page, that it'll convert, that it will do well. Show me some way to do it. We've got a tool and a training and a program at High Traffic Academy called Landing Page Secrets. And we spend literally 8 hours all on landing pages. We go deep into what a landing page is. We dissect it step by step, item by item, page by page, section by section. We show you colors, contrast, and we give you a formula. A formula that says, mathematically speaking, before you drive any traffic to a page, this page will convert better than this page. This will work, this may not work. And it literally goes deep. I mean, we go really into the inner sanctum of what a landing page looks like. So if you really want to be a specialist and that real person goes deep into what landing pages are, you can go into HTA and you can take a look and go in deep into the idea of a landing page. You can engage that training, that program. But for now, I've given you everything you'll need to begin building your page tomorrow morning. And we're going to build one together step by step by step. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. So your homework tonight is to understand the landing page. Make sure you've gone through the step by step. If you've got any questions, give me the comments down below and get ready so that tomorrow we can break free to the other side and actually build your actual page. Ready? Excited? I am too. Okay, my friend. Tomorrow is your day to start writing code. Oh my gosh, what's code? Don't worry about it. You don't have to know any code whatsoever. We're going to walk you step by step. And Vic is going to be right here in this chair and begin opening up your version of SiteSuite. So if you didn't become an elite just yet, you have to make sure you go back in and become an elite member of High Traffic Academy. Because if you don't, you're not going to really get much value out of tomorrow because we're going to be building that page in SiteSuite using that program and that tool. So it's going to be all about everything tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a nice, engaged session giving you everything you need. Okay, my friend, get some rest, get your notes, give me your comments down below, and we will see you tomorrow. See you.